Alrighty, what's up everybody? Peter Gilmore here for video number 3. Third and final video of the night. I'm tired. And it's been a long day. So, video number 3, once again, on the Peter Gilmore Wrestling Channel and Sports Channel. YouTube.com/Peter Gilmore. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And hit that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss a goddamn video, and all that other good shit. That's all I gotta say about that. Alright, on video number 3, it's late. It's way late. It's like 2:17 in the morning. I'm tired. I just want to get this done so I don't have to do it tomorrow. So after I work and I have to do my errands in the afternoon, I can just do my NXT deadline predictions video sometime before SmackDown and Rampage go on the air, and then I do SmackDown after SmackDown, probably late tomorrow night, and then do my Ring of Honor predictions on Saturday, and then if I have time, I will do Rampage another day, or I won't do Rampage at all. But I don't know. We'll see what happens between tomorrow and Saturday. How much content I can get up by the end of the day, Sunday. If I have to push everything back a day, I'll have to do that. That's what's probably going to be for the next couple weeks. So stay with me. All the reviews are going to come, but after Christmas, I will be incommunicado for a little over a week. So we're just going to take some time off. Take the rest of the year off after Christmas, and then recharge the batteries for 2023, and we're going to come back hopefully strong in 2023. Probably right after the first Raw of 2023. And we'll see about going live again. I don't know. We'll see. But a lot of things happening in the next couple weeks and going into 2023. What I want to do with my channels and where I want to be in 2023. Because I might continue this way. I might just pack it in. I don't know yet. But I don't want to pack it in because I don't want to bow down to insignificant people that I don't care about. I just want to go on my terms and continue to fix myself and fix my life and get better physically and mentally. And it's going, like I said, it's going to be a long road going into 2023, and we'll see what happens when we get there. And that's it. All right, let's get into the video. Here's your NXT review from this past Tuesday night, and it was a pretty decent show for the go-home show before this Saturday's NXT deadline event. And let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Alright, so we start off with our first match of the night, with the wild card for the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge. We had A-Kid, Von Wagner, and Andre Chase, with Thea Hale and Duke Hudson at ringside, and Robbie E at ringside for Von Wagner. The winner of this goes to the Iron Survivor match to be with Joe Gacy, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, the wild card, and I'm missing somebody here. Who am I missing? Damn it, I forget. It was well, I'll get to that in a minute. All right, so the winner of the match was A-Kid, was Axiom, who hit the Golden Ratio Superkick on Von Wagner to get the pin in under 12 minutes. Match itself was okay. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. So Axiom joins Joe Gacy, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and JD McDonough. So there's your field for the men's Iron Survivor match, and we'll see who wins it on Saturday night. I think it might be Grayson Waller, but we'll see. And we'll move on from there. We got the women's match coming up in the main event. All right, so after that match, we go to Julius Creed in the trainer's room. He's getting his knee checked out by the doctor. Doctor clears him to compete, but Ivy Nell's like, check his ribs. So those are banged up too. Doctor checks them. Julius kind of cringes and flinches a little bit. So the doctor's like, well, now I can't clear you. You're not able to compete because of your ribs. So Julius is upset. Brutus is even more upset. But then Ivy's like, I'm just trying to protect your brother here. Don't be mad at me. You know. So we get that. So the eventual match with Indus Sher, Veer, and Sangha is now off the table for now. Probably be after the pay-per-view. We'll get to see this match probably on NXT TV or leading into New Year's Evil on January the 3rd. But we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so I give that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, there we have a video about Cora Jade. She's all ready to become the #1 contender for the women's Iron Survivor match if she wins. Because she got a lot of people there. Got her, Kiana James, Roxy, Zoe Stark, and Nikia Lyons. And the winner of the women's match will be Wendy Choo, Indy Hartwell, or Fallon Henley. And we'll see what happens with that. Let me move on from that. Alright, then we go to a video with the NXT World Champ Braun Breaker on his boat talking to Apollo Crews, the #1 contender. And if they're talking, there's still mutual respect for each other. Talking about, Apollo's like, I'm going to beat you. Braun's like, I'm not going to let that happen. And then Apollo catches a mean big catfish or some type of fish, like this big. This big, you can see on the screen, this big. Braun's like, we got a big one there. And Apollo looks at it, he kisses the fish and throws it back. And then they agree that the match is going to be a good one. They shake hands, more mutual respect, and then Apollo says, today was a good day, but Saturday is even going to be worse for you there, Braun, because I'm going to take your belt. And then Braun's like, I'd like to see you try, and we'll see what happens with that. So I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. So instead of a wrestling promo, we saw something from the Fishing Channel. Go figure it out now. And we move on from there. Alright, trying to make this a little bit short because I want to go to bed. Alright, after that, we have somebody named Bryson Montana. Some NXT enhancement talent from the Performance Center, I assume. And finally, they're getting out of the Performance Center come NXT Vengeance Day on February the 4th. They're going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. So the NXT TakeOver situation, well, it's not going to be called TakeOver, obviously, but their premium live events, like the big events that usually are on pay-per-view, are going to be outside of the Performance Center. So just the mini events like New Year's Evil or Halloween Havoc, stuff like that, will be in the Performance Center, in the CWC. But stuff like Vengeance Day, Stand and Deliver will probably be in LA somewhere, because it's WrestleMania weekend, like they did last year. No, they didn't do it. I don't think they did it last year. I think last year was in the CWC, I believe. I'm not sure. Maybe something like Worlds Collide they'll do outside, maybe in England for in Wales for the main roster's Clash of the Castle pay-per-view, which they're going to be doing next year. So they'll do that. Maybe do something around SummerSlam. They'll be in wherever SummerSlam is next year. And then probably by the end of the year when they do they can't do War Games, obviously. They'll do some events outside the area. Maybe a New York pay-per-view. Who knows? Maybe they'll return to Brooklyn. That'd be nice. Go back to the Barclays Center for an NXT premium live event or pay-per-view. Like a TakeOver Brooklyn. I don't even know what number we'll be up to, 5 or 6. But we move on from that. So anyway, Bryson Montana's in the ring for his match with Javier Bornal. And then Indus Sher comes out, Veer and Sangha come at the same goddamn time, so somebody had to mop up that mess. And then they take him out, and then Javier Bernal comes out, he sees what's going on, and he fakes a hamstring injury. So then Sangha says that the Creed brothers, they want the Creed brothers at 100%, so the challenge is turned down until they're medically clear to wrestle. And then the Creed brothers come out, and Ivy Nile come out, they have to hold them back because they want to fight. So nothing happens here except for, that crap. And Veer was injured, by the way, so they want to protect Veer a little bit, so I guess he choked it too much. I don't know. Yeah. I guess he after 12 weeks of, coming, takes a toll on you, so. But I digress. Anyway, so I basically give that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we go to the locker room where we have Duke Hudson trying to console Mr. Chase after his tough match with Axiom and Von Wagner, and then get the win to advance to the Iron Survivor match. So he's trying to cheer him up, and then Thea Hale runs in. She's all happy because she got a match with Isla Dawn coming up, and Duke Hudson's like, you sure about having that match with Isla Dawn? And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna win. Can I do it, Mr. Chase? And Andre's like, yeah, go ahead, go get your ass kicked by Isla Dawn. So then she leaves, and then he starts cursing out Duke Hudson. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So we'll see what happens with that. So I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we have a TikTok video by Sol Ruka dancing with Amari Miller at some live event, probably somewhere in Florida, because I can't go anywhere else yet for live events yet. And then we see Jensen and Briggs yelling at Malik Blade and Idris Enofe about how which team is the best jobber team. So they get into a big argument. It's like, hey, how about we have a match to see which team is the worst team in NXT. And then we have that. Alright, so I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Didn't care for that. But something I did care about is my cousin, Tony D'Angelo. I'm not going to say hello to him today. He's busy. He's sleeping. So Tony D'Angelo comes back after his knee injury. So his return match is with Zion Quinn. And we had Channing Lorenzo Stacks at ringside. Not much of a match here. It was an under 2-minute suckfest. And Tony wins with the Proto Bomb circa John Cena 2002. So he gets the win in under 2 minutes. Bing, bang, boom. I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. After the match, Tony D says, I'm back. I want Wesley, and he wants the North American title. Wesley comes right out and kind of mocks Tony, saying, oh, the Don is back. Yay, let's give it up for him. So then he says, well, before I can give you your title match, I have to have some unfinished business with Dominic Dijak, or Dijak, Big Boss Man 2.0. So he's like, after I take care of him, we can get it on. And then Dijak appears on the Tron and says, Tony, I don't work for you. My business comes before your business. And then basically saying that he's going to decimate NXT, decimate Wesley, and take the North American title. So after that happens, Stacks tries to jump Wesley from behind, and Wesley just shoves him down and then bails because it's a 2-on-1. Basically, it's 2-on-1. So we'll see what happens with that next week on the program. But I think, all in all, I think Dijak might get the belt next. I'd love for it to be Tony D, but I don't really know where Tony D's direction is going to go. But I'm thinking maybe a triple threat match for the North American title might happen at the pay-per-view. But not tomorrow, not Saturday, obviously. Unless it gets announced, or they do it at New Year's Evil, but we'll see. Alright, move on. Alright, then we get a video from last week. We see Hank Walker, the security guard turned wrestler, talking to Mr. Regal's son, Charlie Dempsey, and says, I wish I could follow in your dad's footsteps. I don't know, that's some pretty big shoes to fill there, dude. So Charlie Dempsey's like, you ain't gonna fill his shoes. So Walker says, I want respect, and we can do this in the ring if we have to. So Dempsey's like, okay, Sunshine, we're gonna go to the ring. I'm gonna beat your ass and show that you don't belong here. So we got that coming up in just a second. Alright, so I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, after that, we get a video from Reggie, or Scripps, looking back at his debut match about a week or two ago. It says, some things need to be tweaked a little bit. Some things need to be change things up. Starting with the Chosen Ones, whatever that means. Then he starts writing his name down a bunch of times, breaks his pencil, and then he crinkles up a whole bunch of paper. I mean, I was like, what is this? So maybe the script's character, all those vignettes were supposed to lead to something for Reggie, and now it's kind of like backfired. So I don't know where this gimmick for Reggie's going. I think it should just be thrown out like those pieces of paper. But I digress on that. So I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, after that we got Hank Walker and Charlie Dempsey. Match itself was kind of 4-minute suckfest. And I feel bad for you, Hank Walker, because I think Charlie Dempsey broke this guy's leg. Like, he grabbed his leg, and I was like he grabbed it, then it was bent, and he just went, like it went from bent to like that in an instant. I thought it was broken. I was like, holy crap! I cringed. I was like, Then he locks on the half crab, gets broken up. Dempsey cranks on the knee instead, does that stuff, and then kind of locks in a weird looking submission, looked like the legal stretch almost, and then Hank Walker tapped out because his knee was shot. So there you go, 4-minute suckfest, and I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. But goddamn, Charlie Dempsey's kind of looking like his dad every freaking time I see it. Let me move on from it. Alright, then we get a video about Zoe Stark talking about timing and knowing how none of the people in the Iron Survivor challenge match can even touch her. Well, I think Nikita Lyons might have something to say about that. But we'll see what happens with that. Alright, then we have Mackenzie Mitchell with, he did it, Grayson Waller. He's all ready to win the Iron Survivor Challenge because everyone is scared of him going into the match. I would be too. Because he's probably almost a lock to win the match. But then again, it could be JD McDonough, it could be any one of those guys, but we'll see what happens with that. And we got the Grayson Waller effect to end the show. We'll get to that in a little bit. Alright, after that, get to one of my favorite segments of the night, even though it got ruined by the New Day. So we had the Yes Boys, the NXT Tag Team Champions, basically doing their rendition of the Christmas story, talking about the real meaning of Christmas. They sit on their throne. Yeah, they have an actual throne. Did they borrow Triple H's throne? I don't know. But anyway, I think it was Elton Prince was sitting on Kip Wilson's lap. Basically saying their bulging sacks are overflowing. I bet. They're never going to lose the tag belts and never be bruised, so they have a Merry Christmas hug. And then the New Day come out unexpectedly. We never knew the New Day was going to come. I think just to put over Pretty Deadly at the pay-per-view and then go right back to the main roster and suck. And it suck after that. So, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods come out. So about how Pretty Deadly's beaten everyone except them. Because they haven't held the NXT Tag Team belts, and if they do, they complete the Grand Slam titles, winning the NXT Raw and SmackDown titles. So they challenge them to a match at Deadline. Then they beat the crap out of Pretty Deadly. They pick up some presents, smash them over their heads, and then lay them out. So it was an interesting surprise. I was like, why the New Day here? I just hope Pretty Deadly beats them on Saturday night. I really don't want to see the New Day with the NXT Tag Team belts and just end the great reign that Pretty Deadly had, even before it even began, really. Not that they defended... Well, they only defended them against the Creeds and, Jensen and Briggs, and that's it. And I think the Jabba team of Idris and Ofe and Malik Blade beat them easily. So this might be a challenge for the Yes Boys, but we'll see what happens with that. I hope the Yes Boys win. That's it. All right, so I gave that. Well, before the New Day came out, I was going to give it 4 out of 5 stars, but I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars, and that's it. All right, then we hear from Isla Dawn. She's ready to basically murder Thea Hale. You want to see a murder? You're going to see it in a couple minutes. So we got that. And I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars. All right, then we have Mackenzie Mitchell run up to Javier Bernal. I'm like, is this starting to become the NXT version of Kayla running up to Paul Heyman every time she's asking about Brock Lesnar? Stop doing that! So anyway, Javier Bernal is going to leave. Suddenly remembers he's in pain when Mackenzie Mitchell comes up. Oh, my leg! So Mackenzie's like, are you scared of Indus Sher? Who basically don't want anything to do with him. And he says, I'm not scared. And then we see just like random people like walking behind him and like looking at him like funny. I'm like, what is this about? So he accuses Mackenzie of being biased and wants someone more fair. She's the only person in NXT that does the interviews there, dude. Who are you gonna get? Caleb Braxton to come to NXT? Maybe. Anyway, Ikemen Jiro comes in, and Bernal's like, I trust this guy. He'll never let me down. So, Jericho calls him what do you call him? He called him a chicken, basically. And, he leaves, and then Javier Bernal is not too pleased with his friend. So, I bet you there's a match next week, and I could care less about it. Like I care for this match. This segment, I should say. So I give that not even 2.25, 2 out of 5 stars. It was just mindlessly boring. And that's that. Alright, then we get to Thea Hale and Isla Dawn, which should have lasted less than the time it lasted. It was almost 3 minutes. So we had Mr. Chase, Andre Chase, and Duke Hudson at ringside with Thea to cheer her on. Basically, she did a couple moves and that was it. And then, so Isla Dawn wins the match with not 1 but 2 set out reverse DDTs. Later out, so she gets her debut match win. Her first match officially in NXT on the main roster. So she gets the win. Match gave 2.25 out of 5 stars. After the match, Alba Fire pops up out of nowhere, goes after her, gets held back by referees, and then somehow Kaylee Ray, Alba Fire, breaks away, and Isla spits her black mist into one of the referees' faces by mistake. Ooh. That's gonna cost you some money. And that's it. So then they announced later that Kaylee Ray and Isla Dawn will renew their feud from NXT UK, and they're going to have a match on Saturday night. We'll see what happens with that. I think Isla Dawn is going to win that, but we'll see. And that's it. Alright, so speaking of more women, we have Kiana James ready to be smart and win the Iron Survivor Challenge. We also see her assistant Giovanna. So good. Looks amazing. But I digress. So we'll see what happens with that. She's not going to win, obviously. Let me move on from that. Alright, then we have another vignette of Lyra Valkyria, who's going to debut and have her first official match at NXT next week, probably against some enhancement talent, maybe Amari Miller or somebody. We'll see what happens with that. So I am very happy to see that next week. Very happy. Because I have seen her stuff in NXT UK. She is pretty damn good. So, sky's the limit for Miss Valkyria. And obviously, she took the name of what Taya Valkyrie was supposed to be. She was going to use her name when she came to NXT, but they couldn't do that. They says, oh, we already have somebody named Valkyria in NXT UK, so she had to change her name to Frankie Monet, which is retarded. And then she didn't last long in WWE. She went right back to Impact, and now she's one half of the women's tag team champions with Jessica, the Death Dolls, along with my good friend, my demon assassin, my demon bride, Rosemary. So there you go. So Lyra Valkyria debuts next week. Can't wait for that. Alright, then we go back to the ring. We have Briggs and Jensen taking on Malik Blade and Idris Anofe, who have the big Odyssey Jones at ringside. I think Fallon Henry was at ringside. Yeah, Fallon Henry was at ringside. So we had Giovanna, Kiana James' assistant, show up with a letter for Jensen, which is a VIP thing. It's like, oh, she invited me to her match. Basically, it was a VIP tickets to see her at the pay-per-view, and then Josh Briggs like, you idiot, smacked him in the head. Yeah, well, in a different segment, but we get that. But anyway, this match was boring. Von Wagner gets involved, and we have a humongous brawl with Odyssey Jones, and then while that's going on, Briggs and Jensen still get the win over these two jobbers in 3.5 minutes, and I could care less, so I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars. And that's pretty much it. After the match, surprisingly, we get a code of honor. Okay, we move on. Alright, then we get our final video for the women. Surprisingly, we didn't see Nikita Lyon's video, but we see Roxanne Perez, ready to prove herself because she keeps getting screwed over. I didn't understand this promo, but okay. And she was just looking in a mirror saying, you can do it! You can do it! I really hope she wins and beats Mandy. I really do. I think she's going to be the one to beat Mandy. If it's not her, then I don't know. Really should be Asuka Kana. The evil... Make it be evil Asuka. That I would mark out for. Say, you want to take my Myelin 512 days? You want to beat my record? No! Pretty girl. You know, stuff like that. But I don't think it's going to be Asuka. Probably going to be Roxy, but we'll see. Alright, then we see the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, running down basically the rules for the Iron Survivor Challenge, which is basically the King of the Mountain match without it being called the King of the Mountain match. Without the ladder, of course, and the title. It's just a regular match. Most pinfalls in 25 minutes wins, and if you lose, you go in the penalty box for 90 seconds. Which is... okay. I wonder who thought of that, Jerry Boy ass. Because you work for WWE now. I wonder, you ran that by Hunter and Sean. Let's do that. Okay. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be as great as the King of the Mountain match. I'll tell you that right now. So we got that. Alright, speaking of that, we get to the main event of the women's wildcard match. See who goes into the women's match. We have Indy Hartwell, Wendy Choo Choo, and Fallon Henley. Like I mentioned, Jensen opens the envelope with getting VIP tickets to Deadline for Kiana James. Blah, blah, blah. You know, so you can... blah, blah, blah. We also see Toxic Attraction, those hot 3 pieces of Aish, Gigi, Mandy, and JC Jane looking on from the Toxic Lounge. It was a pretty back and forth match. In the end, Indy sends Wendy Choo Choo to the outside. She decks Fallon Henley with a kick, steals a pin. So Indy Hartwell surprisingly enters this match and gets the win. So she is the final entrant into the match. And that's pretty much it for that. So I gave the match 2.5 out of 5 stars. Afterwards, Toxic Attraction, Mandy says, we'll be at Deadline to see who Mandy's the next challenger could be. And then Indy Hartwell comes into the Toxic Lounge right away and says, Saturday is going to be my night. I'm going to do it for Dexter. No, you're not. Alright, we get that. Alright, then we get the matches for Deadline. I think it's like 5 or 6. I think it's 5 matches. Well, the Iron Survivor match is going to take up at least an hour, hour and a half at most. Then I think there's 3 more matches after that. So, total time probably about 2.5, maybe 3 hours at most, but we'll see. Let me move on. Alright, then we get to the final segment of the night. We got Oh, I Did It, Grayson Waller with the Grayson Waller effect with the other members of the Iron Survivor match, JD McDonough, Carmelo Hayes, A-Kid, and Joe Gacy. So Waller starts insulting all of them. He tells Melo, "You're not going to be the A champion again, even though you're my boy and everything." JD asks Carmelo about losing the North American title twice, but Melo says that doesn't really matter right now. JD's like, "I can go 25 minutes," which then he's like, "Grayson, you wouldn't understand that because you were on a crappy reality TV show." So that kind of pisses Waldo off a little bit. And then Gacy's like, it's like, "Oh, we should all, you don't know what it takes, and we should all be, be happy and everything, peace, But I'm gonna step all over you because that's what Schism does." AK talks about how you have to evolve to win, and I excel at that. And then Carmelo Hayes tries to do his best Good Brothers impression. Nerd. And then some fan asked him a question: which spot would you want to enter the match? Iggy's like, "Well, first and second would maximize the number of falls I get, but doesn't really." And everybody else like, "Nah, I'd rather come in last." Gacy promises that he'll win, but then Carmelo says, "I'm not gonna miss." Grayson Waller says, "You never know when someone's going to strike first, strike hard, no mercy, sir." So we get that. So he's like, "I'm gonna strike first," and then that earns a headbutt from Joe Gacy. Big fight happens. Everyone but Grayson heads to the floor, which leaves Grayson Waller with his camera. He takes the camera, he does a flip dive, thinking he's Logan Paul onto everybody, and then they continue the big brawl at the end of the show, and that's pretty much it. So we'll see what happens Saturday night with the men and the women Iron Survivor match. Also the tag team belts on the line, Pretty Deadly and the New Day. We got Easter Dawn and Alba Fire, and then we got the world title match, which will probably be, I would think, the main event. I think they're gonna start with the women's. I would think they're gonna start with the women's Iron Survivor match, and then the men's match will probably precede the main event, which would be the world title, or they could do the women's Iron Survivor match, and then go right into the main event for the NXT title, and that's it. Anyway, so I gave NXT 6 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys think down below in the description box. Watch my other 2 videos from earlier in the night, and that's pretty much it. Alright, I gotta go. I'm going to sleep. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peter Gomez signing off. Peace. Bye.